Protests have taken place outside of Madrid as the Spanish government announced plans to remove the remains of dictator General Franco from a state-funded crypt. While brandishing fascist salutes, protesters rallied against new Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's plans to convert the site into a memorial to victims of fascism. 80 years after the end of the Spanish Civil War and 40 years after Franco's death, the monument has become a shrine for the far right. And joining us live from Madrid is journalist James Badcock. James, thank you very much for joining us today. Can you tell us, to put it into context, how strong is the opposition to this?
I think active opposition to digging up Franco is not particularly large, although it's obviously very shocking in the 21st century Spain to see people doing fascist salutes. But there aren't many. I mean, there were a few hundreds or perhaps a few thousand, depending on which source you trust there, at the Valley of the Fallen on Sunday, protesting, saying that, Franco should not be dug up in what they called Christian Spain, the Spain of God. There's not a lot of active opposition. Every year, there are tiny demonstrations in favor of Franco on the day of his death, but it's fairly marginal. Spain doesn't have a huge far-right scene. But what there is a lot of misgivings among the population. This is something Pedro Sanchez has said he wants to do quickly, but a poll this weekend said that Spain is more or less divided down the middle on whether it's actually a good idea. I don't think they're divided down the middle on whether Franco is great or not. Most people would say the dictatorship was bad, but we're looking at about 40% each way saying it's a good idea.
James, I just want to bring this question in. We don't have much time, but it's not just about moving this tomb. I mean, can you bring us the bigger political context to what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, we have a government, a socialist government who took over, very recently. It's got a small minority. It can't really legislate. And I think this is one of the sort of statements Pedro Sanchez wants to make before probably early elections next year or early 2020. It will be a big move to dig up the dictator from his own tomb, built to, as it were, his own glory just outside Madrid.